to order. Okay, this meeting, regularly advertised as always and well attended, out there and here in the room. We have first on the agenda review of minutes. Everybody had a chance to review the minutes, I assume, and found something to change? No? Good, and I'll take a motion to accept the minutes.
I move we accept the minutes from last meeting.
Second. Thank you. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Ayes have it. The nays are non-existent. Excellent. Next up, regular business. Public transportation. I don't have a heck of a lot to share there besides the fact that if there are no objections to be found, Post will move forward with its fare increase. And I shared with the committee the historic ridership data for Route 5, which I thought was quite eye-opening, in the sense that it showed that in the last year of operation, Route 5 had more riders than was currently. So something to note. I'm wondering if everybody had a chance to read or look at what I shared and have any questions, input, insights, remarks.
I don't know if I'm
in that there's documents who sent us, but what was the coast ridership
The
on
Wildcat?
the
Yeah.
Newmarket Exeter connection?
Oh, it's 3,000 altogether.
Okay.
Yeah, but that includes well, that was last year's, right? So I don't know about this year yet because we don't have those numbers yet. But that includes all the rides taken, in Exeter as well.
Okay.
So it doesn't just reflect the Newmarket riders at all. Jason?
Yeah, I noticed, I don't know if you noticed this.
Or not?
On the graph you sent us, it shows that,
On the what?
the graph you sent us,
Yes.
it shows that the ridership route, it's actually all Wildcat Transit, would go actually decreasing
Yes, that's true.
since 2012-ish?
Yeah.
Is that the reason for that?
Overall. Well, so ridership used to be higher when more students lived in Newmarket and in Dover. And over that period of time that you observed, the university and the town of Durham have experienced a lot of building of student housing. So if you look at the graphs, you see that Wildcat fixed route ridership has experienced a decline, whereas the campus connector, which is the transit system on campus and in the town of Durham, has experienced a significant increase in ridership at the same time. Also, I think it's just a different travel pattern that students have now. There's just more travel to Portsmouth and also more cars, unfortunately, on campus. At the same time, there are also more parking opportunities developed in that time period. So at least that's the kind of the way that Steve Pesci explained it to me. Anyone else on that?
Would you mind, if you know it off the top of your head, would you mind just summarizing the rate change for Coast, just in case anybody watching wants to know what that is?
Yeah, let me see here. It will be, where do I have this? I don't want to say the wrong thing here, because I always forget that. I think I don't remember, but it's I think $4 rather than $3.
And I guess anyone can go into the coast website.
Right, exactly. It is on the Coast website. That's probably safer than me trying to, than putting out the wrong information here. I also learned about a program that Enterprise Car is offering that essentially allows an entity to, on a month-to-month basis, rent a van to utilize for public transportation purposes, provided, they offer a really good rate, provided that the entity that's renting it utilizes a volunteer driver. So you can't have a professional driver, it has to be a volunteer driver. And the Dover Adult Learning Center is using that instead of operating its own van or trying to figure out some other solution. They found this to be the cleanest, easiest way forward. So if the van breaks down, Enterprise will replace it with a different vehicle. They don't have to worry about insurance. They don't have to worry about maintenance or registration or anything like that. And I think we should explore that program, find out more about how it works exactly, and see if that might not be a way to something that we could use to run a demonstration project, if you will, to connect Newmarket and Durham and allow for the opportunity for Newmarket residents to reach Durham and thereby access routes to coast routes and wildcat routes, all the way into Dover, Farmington, Rochester, all of that, the whole benefit of the transit system that exists in the seacoast that we right now are kind of cut off from. So if there's anybody who would like to do a little bit of sleuthing and make a couple of phone calls to find out more, I would appreciate that. Just to Enterprise and maybe to the Dover Adult Learning Center for background information.
It's the Enterprise on the UNH campus.
I don't know. That's
They
what
do
we'll
have
have to find out. Yeah, it's not a particular location. I think it's I don't know.
Yeah.
I think it may be Dover.
So I've actually rented a van from that location before.
Yeah, I don't know if there's
Christmas party.
the van would be parked so that the Dover, they just park the van at in the College Center.
Yeah.
So it's just always there.
Yeah.
Anybody willing to?
I can call Dover.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Thank you, Chase. I appreciate that. Okay. That's what I have. Anybody have some public transportation issues or ideas? Okay, good. I know we don't have anything to talk about running complete streets.
Can we do a little wayfinding?
Yes, we can. We can move there. Parking infrastructure we'll get to next time, and since we have guests, let's start there, I guess. Okay. Signing and wayfinding.
Yes, so we have our consultants here today, and today what they're going to do is kind of introduce themselves, kind of the scope of the first phase of this project. So it's going to be developed in 2 phases, and from there, so kind of what we're going to do in the next couple of months. And then I think what we're going to do is look at the survey that they developed, kind of some other features that they're thinking about, and I just feel this is a good launching point. Set a nice foundation and then kind of plan next steps for our adventure in finding wayfinding. So with that, I'll pass over to Liz and Allison. And that pulls off, so when you come over to the TV, bring it over.
Okay.
Oh, they're fine.
Alright, hi everyone, I'm Liz Murphy. I'm an independent planning consultant. My business is EF Design and Planning. I was last year, several months ago, working on the Downtown Riverfront Master Plan chapter, which I worked on just a piece of the master plan for Stratford Regional Planning Commission. and I live down the road just over the town line in Durham from Packers Falls. So I'm in Newmarket a lot, and I've lived in the community several times, and it's very near and dear to my heart. So I'm really excited to be working on this project, and I will be working on it with my colleague Allison.
Hi everybody, I'm Allison Brown, and I'll be the designer for this project, and also very excited to get started on this.
Alice, if you want to speak in the mic.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Lifelong graphic designer, and so many years in a variety of applications, so I'm excited about working on this signage project. And one of the documents that we've shared with you is called a creative brief. And this is essentially a blueprint for the process that we'll be taking in the design of the signage for Newmarket. And so what it does is that it defines the project objectives, including the branding and wayfinding objectives. We wanted to consider the audiences that we're trying to appeal to and speak to through the signage. The brand personality is the town of Newmarket, but we want to keep that in mind in terms of reflecting the character as we work on design development. And on the second page, the deliverables covers all the what we'll be producing and handing over to the sign fabricators once everything is approved. So I won't read this because you have it in your hands, so I won't take up your time. But if you have any specific questions about design process or anything, I'm happy to answer that at this time. And one other thing is that no design will start until after we collect all of the public and community input. So I'm kind of in a little bit in a holding pattern until we get all that information and review it.
You can join us if you want. Community
So, and I was just down, I got here a little early, I already snapped some pictures of some existing signage down there, so it's good to have that in our arsenal as we start to think about this.
All right, I think I'm gonna take this if I'm doing slides a little bit, so.
Should pop right out.
Vanna White again here. Okay, so we have a couple slides, and then I think we'll spend most of our time talking about the preliminary draft survey that we put together, because Allison and I met with Bart maybe a month or so ago, and we wanted to, rather than coming to introduce ourselves and talk about the project, we wanted to also get some feedback on the survey so that we can get that going soon.
Can you just lift up? Yep.
Go like that? Oh, okay, so quick project overview, and I'll pull up a slide with our timeline. We have a story map started, which is an online website that is pretty user-friendly, that's designed to be sort of public-facing to keep people involved and aware of what's going on. I typically post public input and advertise different types of events that are happening on the website. So it's a nice thing for us to be able to reference. We'll go over the draft survey. We have a couple sticky note poster polls that we'll talk about, and then we have a few next steps, scheduling and figuring out when we're going to meet with you all next. So, without further ado, we have the project kind of laid out in two main pieces to reflect what was sort of requested in the proposal for this project. So part one is branding. That's shown in the green here. Part two is the wayfinding piece, and we'll be working on both of these projects sort of at the same time. We're going to be collecting input from the community through the survey on design and wayfinding aspects of the project. But there's sort of a couple main pieces for the branding. We have our sort of kickoff here with the creative brief and orientation. We're going to be collecting community input. Right now we've talked about doing input for the wayfinding and the survey, and the branding through an online and in-print survey, tabling out a couple events, and we can talk about other ideas that you might have as well. Once we have that input back later this summer, then Allison will really dive into putting together a few options We have three main, she'll put together 3 designs, bring them back to the committee, and then go through the process of sort of refining and selecting. And then we'll use that primary design in the wayfinding signage. So there'll be a few different iterations based on the types of wayfinding signage. And then in the wayfinding piece, I'm spending some time capturing photos of existing signs, thinking about the points of interest, where people are going, the key travel routes, what are the decision points, what kind of signage is existing now, and then we'll be working on kind of the signage placement plan once I have all that information compiled with all of you. And then we'll put together the whole package in a report that will include the design templates for the actual fabrication as well as the types of signs in various locations for the community. And we're hoping to have that wrapped up by the end of June, so about a year from now. And there's a stakeholder review period built in there to coordinate with town council, DOT as necessary, and other departments as well. Any questions about that kind of broad overview for the project? Okay. Oh, okay. Oh, sorry. So I can go to this briefly, right? If I go over here.
Yeah. You just stay back arrow there.
Okay, and then go to home.
Go to arrow back. Go back. That brings it
And then.
down below.
Oh, we didn't have it open here, did we?
No, but you just
I'll do it in
go
the
over.
survey. Right?
Yep.
There we go. So you have a link to this QR on your project briefs. And we can get a short URL out to everyone as well. This is live right now. If we don't tell anyone about it, not many people are going to find it. So it's live, but it hasn't really been officially publicly released. But it's something that we could link to from your town website. So it has a little bit of information about what the project is, key objectives for branding and for wayfinding, some rough dates for the project timeline. We anticipate the survey will be out for about a month or so this summer. We have talked to Bart about a joint board committee input session. We'd like to talk to the Arts and Culture Committee as part of this, especially given the fact that we're doing some design work. And we have talked about doing a table at Arts in the Park and also Backyard Bash. We'll do some work sessions throughout the summer and fall, and then dive into the branding options, sort of finalize what the brand is going to look like, and then get into the specific sign design and placements. So as the schedule changes, we can update that very easily. We have a little map here that shows the existing signs downtown that I identified. There may be more, but on a sort of preliminary bike ride through town, this is what I found. And they're categorized in the four main types of wayfinding signage. They're general categories. Directional, telling you where to go. Identification might be a sign like outside a building saying, this is the library. Informational would have different types of information. And then regulatory might be information about like who could park somewhere, who can't, who can walk in a specific area, and who can't. And so I generally categorize the existing signs, and you can kind of go into them and see a picture and get a sort of overview of the different types of signs that are in downtown now. And they're pretty diverse, which I think is probably no surprise to you all. So you can explore that and also let me know if I'm missing something, and I can add it to this resource pretty easily.
Is there an opportunity for the public to share like new spots on this? And just for your consideration?
Yeah, not in this map, but I can look into that capability to like drop a pin.
Yeah.
And if we can't do it on here, we could do like a Google map and probably have the opportunity for people to drop pins and then I can add them
Yeah.
into here. That would be pretty fun to do.
Yeah.
And then if we scroll down more, we'll have a community input section here where we'll put the results. Usually if there's advertising for an event that we want people to participate in, I'll put it like at the top of the page so people see it. And then just some examples. We snapped quite a few photos from the area, Portsmouth, Kittery, Durham, Dover, just to get an idea for what kind of signage is nearby if people want to go take a look at it. And then we have.
I did like the signs that you have in the survey, the different from different communities. That was nice to see.
Yeah,
Similar,
there's
but-
a lot. There's a lot out there.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Portsmouth and Dover have sort of a similar aesthetic to their signs, but they're still a little bit distinct, I think. And then we have Bart's contact information here and a link to your website. So we'll keep updating this with information, and I'll look into getting the best option for getting a kind of a way for people to add their own points in, because that would be pretty fun.
You said that the survey is open but not public?
The survey is not open. This
okay.
is public. This in order for me to even share it with all of you to see it, it's accessible, but we haven't shared the link out. Although it is in your packet, which is online now. So this is live now. We don't have the survey live, except that it is in the meeting materials.
Do we want this shared now?
Yeah, I think we could go with the survey if you want. Is that your question?
Well, no, more so that whether nonprofits, whether Main Street Corporation should put it up on their pages or anything of that sort.
I think, yeah, I don't see why not. Share that.
Yeah, I would say, I mean, it's pretty basic information on here now. If you all want to take a more thorough review and let us know if there's, anything that jumps out at you as a red flag why we shouldn't post it, then we can certainly make any tweaks that we need to.
Have you had a chance to look?
No, not really, but from what I've seen, I don't see any red flags right now. So.
Is there I know you have the QR code, but is there a shortcut?
There's a short URL,
Okay.
and it might be on one of the slides, and if I didn't put it on the slide, I will get it to you. It might
you'd be able to hover
it might
over
be Newmarket Wayfinding. I think it is. I just did a bit of it the other day.
Yeah. Cool.
And I think I put it in the slides, but if not, I'll get it to you. All right, so I apologize, I'm going kind of quick, but I want to make sure we have time to go through the survey. So I think that was the next thing on our slides, but let me double check so I make sure I don't miss something here. Yeah, okay, so this survey, I'll just leave it small for now. Really, we want to gather input from residents on the design piece and also what people think we need signs for here, and what sort of the types of signs and locations. And so we've put together some draft questions, which we'll go through next. And we've talked to Bart about having the survey online through the town's Survey Monkey, and then we'll put print copies out, maybe at just the town offices and the library and the rec center, and then publicize through every opportunity that we can through the town. And then, I usually post on the Facebook pages through my business account. It's like, go to this link if you want to take the survey, and hopefully we can gain some traction and get as many responses as possible. So.
Sorry to interrupt, but so once you have the survey results, what's the next step? What are you doing with, what will we be doing with the results?
So we'll look at, so usually the first thing I'll do is just aggregate the data and put it in a slightly more presentable format than SurveyMonkey spits out, and it'll be anonymous, and we can present the results to all of you. And then Allison and I will take the input and pull out the pieces that are most relevant for wayfinding and for design, and we'll use that to identify the types of signs that might go in different places. And then also there's some design related questions that will help Allison in the sort of first iteration of what the branding might be.
Okay. I was asking in part because the time period is in the middle of the summer, and as you were listing, who could send these things out and distribute the link to the survey, I was thinking it would be good if the school district could distribute this as part of its communication going into the school year, because you'd reach just a lot of people, and I think it would be nice for the QR code to also be available at businesses throughout town. I mean, that's kind of the beauty of it, right? To have a QR code. And also in the high school. I know the high school's not open, that's why I was kind of, it's too bad that it's mid-August, and I don't want to mess up the timeline already.
So let me, I think we can go into September for the survey. Would that screw up our timeline too much?
I mean,
I just think we'd reach more people and get a fuller picture.
I think that it'll bump things back. If Allison's not going to start designing until we have all the input. There's a lot of preliminary work for the sign placement and points of interest that I can do before the survey input. But I think we can probably, I'm just looking at the schedule, we can try to, Allison and I can talk about sort of what's realistic and if we can still fit in all the pieces.
I'm just wondering too, let's say we keep the same timeline but keep it open. If you're seeing any changes, then maybe, because I guess that's the question for Allison. So if we were to adopt such an approach, how would that affect your work? Like, for instance, you stick to the timeline, you got the data that we got till August, then you start working on your part. But we keep it open and see if there's any other input. I don't know if that's... Yeah.
I mean, if we got like another round of input and it's different, then that could be problematic. That could be, I mean, we don't want to dive into doing the design until we're kind of finished collecting. We can do some of the other wayfinding pieces earlier. And it might be possible to rework the schedule. I might have to look at it a little bit.
I wonder, I don't think, because people, I imagine, they're going to get emails leading up to school.
Yes.
So I think we can stick to the same timeline, coordinate with the school district, and just get onto their list.
Yes.
Then. So I think we can still accomplish that with the same timeline.
Yeah.
We'll just go reach the school district and understand when they're emailing us, and for their leading up to the school year.
Probably in August.
Yeah. So I think that should work. So we'll just I'll coordinate.
Okay. Yeah, we can coordinate and we can try to stretch it a little. I just don't want to push it till like the end of September and then try to back everything up, because I think it might.
Right.
It always takes time to do the design back and forth, and then for us to meet back and forth. This might not be the only thing on your agenda for the next year, so I don't want to push things too far down the road.
I think we can accomplish.
Sorry, a little tight.
That. So in the same timeline.
Okay.
Just one other spot that I think Stella runs it. There's a bulletin board online for town events as well. That's run by one of the Stella Show run it? It's run by one of the town councilors. A good place to put on as well.
And we do the towns as well, email, letter. Friday updates.
It seems like we have a lot of opportunities to connect with members of the town.
Yep.
Some of this is very important to people who are not residents of the town. So, you know, I like the idea of maybe somehow linking with the restaurants, whether we have paper copies of the survey in restaurants, or maybe we can get some restaurants in town to put it on their website. You know, so somebody's thinking, oh, I'm gonna go down to Newmarket to see.
It could be put on some menus, some of the restaurants rotate menus and have a paper menu. We could put a QR code on, a number of restaurants would probably be willing to do that. It also gives people something to do while they're waiting for their food.
Right.
So they think it came up more quickly.
That's a good idea. The Backyard Bash seems like a great opportunity to get people who are coming into Newmarket, and looking for things. The thrift store in town on North Main Street, they get a lot of traffic. You know, so I think we should maybe add them to the paper copies or the QR code, have a QR code there.
We'll go solicit.
Yeah, they do get a
It
lot.
might be easy to create just a brochure with a
Yeah.
QR code, skip the paper copies. And virtually everybody can QR code something with, and the brochure gets their attention and says, yeah, I want to fill this out. And then they QR code it at their convenience. The paper, it's a little bit harder to manipulate the data because somebody's got to input it then.
Right.
Yeah,
So that's kind of difficult.
Would you like us to generate a list of locations and then we can share that?
yeah, we could do that, yeah. So what we can do is we'll have a flyer that we can post places with the QR code, and then if we don't put paper copies, we wouldn't put paper copies everywhere. But in certain places, we like to have them, like here in the library, we can always direct people to pick up paper copies at those locations as well. So if someone, like at the thrift store doesn't want a QR, doesn't know how to QR, then they could come over here.
Yeah, or it might not be accessible to them or something.
Right.
Yeah, I think that's great.
Okay. All right, the other thing that we'll do, is a couple dot polls, and we have a couple examples of that. Has everyone seen a dot poll? Okay, so they're very simple. They're a poster with a very straightforward question, and we usually have them posted at a table. Usually someone's there with the poster to sort of explain. I always put directions on the poster as well. And we give out sticky dots, and they just vote by putting their response next to either a picture or a response. So I can pull that up later. It was in the packet, but it's very small size, so it'll be a big poster, and it's just a way to get input really quickly from people, and it often will attract more attention at a table too. So if people are voting, and you can see a lot of sticky dots, and then other people can also see it sort of in real time how others are responding. It's an easy way to participate, but it's a nice way to get people over to a table to talk to them, and we can direct them to the full survey as well.
So this is something that we do at Backyard Bash?
Yeah, that's what we were thinking for Arts in the Park and Backyard Bash.
And maybe the joint session too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that'd be a good opportunity as well.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
yep.
And we're gonna go through the survey?
Yeah,
Yeah.
if everyone's up for that.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
for
okay.
it.
We'd like to get the survey sort of as, in final form as possible tonight. We may not get through everything, but just so that we can get it out sooner rather than later. So let's dive into that, and I think there's a full page.
If you press the
arrows?
arrows, yeah, and then the presentation.
So there's this, and you all should have it in your packets as well. So this is sort of formatted to be printed, but SurveyMonkey is pretty user friendly, so it should have a sort of similar appearance and all the same content. We have a little bit of information about the survey. I put if you live or work in Newmarket, but maybe we want to broaden that to if you visit Newmarket
Yes.
at the beginning.
Yeah, it would be great to capture that. I mean, as far as being able to sort by respondents that way.
We can sort, yeah, we can add a sorting question. I'll add a sorting question to the beginning.
Yeah, that was gonna be mine, like, are you a resident of Newmarket? Yes, no, but maybe it's like, something to, a little more, do you live, work, or, visit?
Yeah.
Like that.
I like the language live in Newmarket better than you're a resident.
Yeah.
It's less formal.
Some people can live in the town and not be a resident if you're not formally a resident.
Yeah,
I
that's
look
true.
at students or something of that sort
That's true.
that
Yeah.
might declare their residency at their parents' house.
Yeah. So we'll have an intro section and we'll list off kind of where the paper copies are. We prefer the electronic copies so that we don't have to
Mhm.
enter it and aggregate it, but usually there's not too many paper copies.
Do we want an age demographic question? Is that relevant to anything that? I mean,
I don't know.
Big people, old people want big font.
That's
To take on my
true.
readers.
I don't know, like, how would we use it?
I don't know. I'm just
Yeah.
because some of the walking, biking, I think it might be interesting to be able to do that. If you're under 18 or something like that, and see if there are any trends visible. But you probably won't get enough residents or respondents to do that. Sorry, I when I see surveys, it's like, oh, it's at this too. But okay.
We don't want to bombard with a lot of
Yes,
questions.
I hear that.
Right, yeah, keeping it brief is important.
Yeah.
Yep.
Great.
I think like we're not gonna design a sign for a particular demographic, and I don't know that it matters who's using the signs to get from one place to another. But if we find there's a particular point of interest that people are having trouble
No, it's
finding,
more,
then we
it's
might.
more like if we only get respondents who are 40 and older, and that's all we have captured. Are we capturing everyone that we need to capture with the survey? Are we basing are we using the results in an appropriate way if we don't have 18 to 35 represented at all in the respondents for whatever reason? Maybe our outreach was kind of
Yeah.
poor, so that might be a good way to little quality control, I suppose, for us.
I guess the concern is when we do anything with that, if all of a sudden we found out one age group wasn't properly represented, we really don't have time to.
Yeah,
Maybe they could target it, I don't know.
Right, exactly. Maybe one could. No, okay. Just my concern.
Well, let's think about it while we're going through the questions, because we may think of something
Okay.
that gives us more reason to include that or not.
Fair enough.
The beginning, so it just has a little information about the project. I'm not going to read through this unless people want to. Kind of a description of what visual branding is, what we're talking about. We're talking about what the appearance is, and wayfinding is sort of the messaging and the purpose of the signage. And then I would like to go through the questions to see if people have comments, questions, so we can sort of work on edits now, if that's all right.
I actually do just the wording of both question 1 and 2. It says primary, and then it says check all that apply. So primary usually, to most people's mind, it was means 1.
One reason.
Yeah.
That would be right.
It might be, if you're looking for multiple answers, it might be
Yeah,
better to
primary.
use, remove primary, or if you want multiple answers.
We could rank them too. Or just take out primary.
It might be hard to rank.
I think we might get a lot.
I don't think it's a ranking question.
Yeah.
It's like, how do you normally travel to downtown?
where I'm going
So
by.
I think
Or just ask
Just
them to
get
check one.
check one.
Yeah,
Okay.
check one.
This is around.
How you primarily go downtown, or
I don't, I think I think it's important to capture all ways that people travel to town. And if you say primarily and you only have one choice open to you, but you use 3 modes, you just, most of the time really, if I think about it, okay, I'm driving. But why do we not want to know the other modes? I think we would. Because it's not about how many people drive, but capturing all the ways that people travel. At least that's
To that
from
point,
us.
if they are ranked, we would get an idea of how many people primarily access downtown through walking,
Yes, exactly.
primarily access
Yeah.
downtown through riding their bike.
You'll get absolute numbers of the responses,
Yeah.
so you'll get some ranking that way.
I think we can rank it. I think it's possible we'd sort of end up with almost like a similar result. If we asked everyone to choose one, we're still gonna get some people that choose, biking, walking, like when you're in town, and it'll still show the most sort of overall prevalent modes, which doesn't mean that other people don't travel that way, but if we're thinking about, we're not gonna clutter up downtown with signs if we have to choose one sort of target audience or like one mode that we're targeting. We wanna make sure that we're accessing that group. But I think ranking could work also. It would make it easier for people to respond to it as well.
Sure. You mean rather than just checking multiples?
Just rank.
Yeah, that works.
I've got a question as far as downtown. Are we really only concentrating in downtown, or is this a town-wide endeavor to have a branding for, could be access to Heron Point? It's not
I
downtown.
think we focus, so the way I envision this is our primary right now is downtown, then we expand.
Okay.
So I think after this completes, we have a blueprint, we have a suite, we have a signage,
okay.
and then we can build off from that
Yeah.
and explore other options. So
Okay.
we have a blueprint, basically, going through this process.
We
Where
have
they
some-
can be applied elsewhere,
Yeah.
but we have a more concentrated area of
Yeah.
a variety of signs and
That's
uses
fine.
in downtown.
Yeah.
We have some questions that get at that as well, though, because we did talk about, maybe there's signage for conservation land or other key destinations in the town. I didn't include it on this question because a lot of those places I don't envision people are walking to, because unless they're living in proximity to those parks and lands, they're probably driving, maybe biking to them, just because of the
Just thinking,
spread out nature.
seeing this question, like, what if you were to park, then you walk around? Like, you come to downtown, you park, but then you primarily get around downtown by walking. For instance, if you, like, I'm just one of those questions, how do you primarily travel around? I think that's what I'm getting mixed up.
What if we say
around.
when you're in downtown?
Like, how do you get to downtown? Is more of that, like, maybe that's the question, primarily travel to downtown. Yeah.
Could it be split into 2 questions?
Yeah, it could be a question on that, too.
Yeah.
I think that makes a lot of sense too.
Because there could be one, how do you travel to
Yes.
downtown, and then how do you travel amongst downtown?
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind
I
of,
like that.
I agree with that.
So we'll have 1, 2 downtown and 1 in downtown. Ranking.
Yeah, the ranking, I don't know if that's necessary. I think just having multiples checked is fine. I'm not sure that we need to rank it though. Because how do you represent it? What does the ranking mean? You got 5 ones, I don't know.
Maybe it's just a
Seems
selection.
more complicated than.
Pick one, basically, is primarily, and then,
would also.
Or the ones that you use, just pick them. Fine, so sometimes you drive and sometimes you bike, so you just know that.
but you
Does
don't
it
know
matter
how,
whether that one is 1 and one is 2?
well, you wanna know which mode they're using most frequently, right?
But if they use any mode at any point, they will need the signs.
Right,
Yeah.
I agree.
Well, the signs are designed sometimes for motorists, but the walking can be much smaller. Motorists really need to take in
Yeah.
the distance and the speed that traveling.
It's
There's
different
walking sign
information that you're
key
conveying
fob.
potentially.
I think from an analysis perspective, it would be easier to just check all that apply rather than rank them. And I'm not sure what we would get out of the ranking, but that's up to you guys.
I kind of like the ranking personally. I think
Yeah.
it's kind of, I think it could be neat. It could also make it a little bit fun to the survey.
I mean, it's almost as if the ranking is giving us ancillary data that isn't necessarily having to do with this survey, but for our information, how many people do access downtown just by riding there, primarily?
Yeah.
Right.
Or how many people walk primarily? We don't actually know that, you know? But in terms of what difference does it make to this survey, I don't think it makes a whole lot of difference unless somehow, you know, you looked at, let's say you had 10 people who primarily rode their bike into town. And then you compared the rest of their answers to people who primarily drive. You know, are their needs different? It's a way to assess that. You know what I'm saying?
So you have that unique ID type, and then you see how, you know, primary bikers respond to.
Right. Are they showing that their needs are different than a
the
primary driver?
correlations. Yeah.
The unique thing
I don't know
here
if that
is
matters.
all of the survey participants won't be the ones who need the signage.
Well, that's why we have to.
We
have
know
to-
where we're going.
Yeah.
It's the people from out of town that are, how the hell did I find a stone church? You know, those are the ones that it's just really kind of designed for is people aren't that familiar with the community.
New residents too. New people,
Yeah, piques interest,
Yeah.
yeah.
But I do think that this, in particular, just as an example, the satellite parking issue, satellite parking lots. Nobody that I talk to even knows about the satellite parking. You know? So,
Yeah, that's, I think what kind of gave birth to this.
yeah, so there is a need, you know, for the residents, but yeah, overall, it's people who are coming in from out of town who don't know where Shanda Park is, don't know where Conservation is,
Yeah.
or the town hall.
All right. So we have two questions. One is how do you travel to downtown Newmarket and how do you get around
Yeah.
Newmarket, downtown, once you're there?
Okay. Question 2, as written on here. This is just asking the primary purpose. Again, this says check all that apply. We could say purpose.
I say why do you visit downtown?
Yeah, we're probably should scratch bank off that list. Oh, no, actually, we do have bank accounts still.
Sorry. Yeah, maybe shoot for
Why are you in downtown?
simple language.
Why are you here?
Why are you here? You want to go to Newmarket?
Why even bother?
Okay.
Not saloon, right? No, I'm sorry.
Okay, so is everyone generally comfortable with that?
Yeah, that was
Okay. The next question is asking for navigation. How easy is it to navigate? Pedestrian, vehicle, line parking.
Can you add, as a cyclist is one of the questions?
Yeah, that's a good one.
For navigating and for parking cyclists. I don't really have any bike racks or anything like that.
We do have a few bike racks. There's some on the sidewalks and there are 5. Not many, but some. We should have more.
Right.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, so you're saying about adding parking for a bicycle?
Yeah, I'm saying this should be a question. How do you navigate downtown in a bike, on a bike, and
Yep.
do you find parking in downtown on a bike?
On a bike? Oh, no, actually, no, I'm sorry, I agree.
Okay.
I'm sorry, yeah, we do, because we do need more, and well, I'm sorry.
Okay. All right.
Should we, on part two, should we reference, am I missing it, the water? You know, we do say, walking, cycling, exercise, or leisure route, but there's no reference to any of the access points for the water.
Oh, and question two?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's add that in. Do you want to say Shannon Park or Riverfront?
Riverfront.
Lamprey River?
Riverfront, yeah.
Riverfront. Okay. Okay, so we're Riverfront into why do you visit downtown Newmarket? And then on number 3, we're gonna add in navigate as a cyclist and then find parking downtown as a cyclist.
Yeah.
Okay. All right,
Or
park a bike?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, just be, more straightforward. I think we tend to kind of try to be too formal in surveys sometimes, and then the actual essence of the question gets lost.
All right.
Hmm.
Question 4 on the next page is asking about like how you know you've made it to downtown. Because gateway signage is important for sort of recognizing you're in downtown. And so that's what I was trying to get at with this question. And I left it open-ended because it's sort of difficult to, I don't want to narrow down choices or give people street names.
Yep.
There's a couple signs now that are sort of gateway signage, the kind of large
Welcome to Newmarket.
welcome signs are the blue ones. One of them's kind of hidden, so just sort of like where is the edge of downtown? And that's probably going to be different for everyone.
How do you approach it?
Yeah, how you approach it and just like where you, like is the library the edge of downtown, or is it farther out? Is it like a hardware store? Is it once you're actually in the heart of downtown? So I think it'll be interesting to see what people say.
I'm wondering,
I thought about trying to do a map and have people
quadrant, yeah, like a map, like 4 boxes, in each box, you leave it open-ended. Like the way I envision it, it's like a square quadrant, like that. And then each one would have people can't see this, but like a qualitative open-ended, field for you to, fill in. I'm not sure if the survey has that capability or not. Because it'll be neat if we do it that way.
like as far as where they're coming from.
Yeah.
I don't know that you can even ask for someone if they're coming from the west.
Well, that's
Because
why.
I don't know that everyone can even do that without Googling if they're coming
Right.
from
You're very good
from
at that.
the west.
Yeah, this was one of the. It was a map there, and you could see. I guess maybe it's just too much. So.
Well, do we just want to name the primary routes into town and say, you're driving in from Exeter, give some descriptor. Where do you feel that you're arriving? When do you feel you're arriving downtown? So we have what? Really 3 primary routes into town?
Yeah.
I'm just wondering how it would be easier for survey or for survey to fill this out.
Would it be easier to, instead of having on the survey, have a blown up picture of the map at like the backyard dash and people can get dots on it? So people can actually see what they're talking about.
We could do that. I do worry a little bit, people that don't look a lot at, a lot of people look at maps a lot, but if you're not really familiar with Newmarket and looking at Newmarket's downtown, you might have a hard time orienting yourself. If we did Google Street View, then people might be able to figure it out more, but
You're in certain bias.
yeah, I don't want
I
to tell
think
people
that-
to.
Yeah.
Open-ended is the way to go, and people will use like a landmark, like somebody
Right.
would say the McDonald's, or
Mhm.
like,
Yeah.
you'll get stuff like that that's not necessarily predetermined streets
Yeah.
or signage things. I think that'll be helpful to, I mean, it may take more to aggregate that information in the survey,
Yeah,
but I
but we
think it'll
can
be more
put
useful.
points on
Yeah.
a map too, and then look at sort of how it all,
Mhm.
how all the data comes together, just to get an idea.
I personally like this question a lot.
I do too.
Who tells you that you've arrived downtown? I think that's great.
That's it, boom. Yeah.
We've struggled with this question on this committee.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see what people say.
Clearly.
The one piece around that though is, no, it doesn't matter, we'll just keep going.
I think we just go with the assumption we're gonna get one, like, only 1 point. So it's, if we're comfortable with that, you know, I don't think the surveyor is gonna list multiple, you know, we might have some super surveyors. They'll say, oh, if I'm coming from here, it's this, if I'm coming from exit road, it's this. I think we just gotta roll with, all right, there's one word answer, okay, it's right there, you know, and then go from
Yeah.
there.
They can be
Right.
descriptive.
Yeah, I think residents who are interested in the survey will probably tell you multiple points, and
Yeah.
people who are driving from another direction will just say what they think is
It's the
downtown.
experience, yeah.
Maybe the post office, you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
so.
Yep.
Okay. Okay, so 5 is asking about locations outside of downtown that should have signs.
I think it's a good question. I like this
Well,
question.
does that mean like signs to identify them, not necessarily signs to get to them?
It's sort of intentionally broad to just
Okay.
identify like what the points are.
Okay.
It's almost points of interest.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
Can we be, more, a little bit more leading than just locations? Locations seems a bit.
Places?
Yeah, I don't know, but locations outside of downtown should have signs. I'm not sure that's,
Could you say Newmarket points of interest?
yeah, something like that.
Destinations?
What points of
Destinations
interest,
in Newmarket?
destinations,
Okay.
places outside of downtown.
Places.
In Newmarket, outside of downtown should have signs.
I like places.
Hmm?
Places,
Places, yes,
Places?
places.
Yeah.
What places?
right.
Okay,
Because that
yeah, I
can
think
be,
that's a
that
good
can be a
point.
lot of things, yeah.
Yeah, because location, people might think they have to think like a
Right.
street name or something.
Exactly.
Okay, everyone good with that for now?
Mhm.
Alright, number 6, do you think it's important to have Newmarket's logo on the signage? Yes, no, unsure?
Yeah.
I think it's a great question, and, you know, we see it all the time where there's teeny little logos on all the street signs, nobody can read them. You know, so it's a good question, and I don't know as if it's consistent either. Some places it might be appropriate,
Yeah.
some places it's just visual clutter. I'm looking for white space so I can read the message, but I think it's a good question.
The next one, are there existing symbols, landmarks, or cultural icons that you would like to see incorporated into the signage and branding?
What do you think about saying cultural icons related to the town? Some people are just gonna put the Mickey Mouse.
You don't want to see those answers?
I would love to, but
Yeah.
I feel like we get sued.
Related to the town? Related to Newmarket?
Yeah.
Newmarket cultural.
Mhm.
You know,
Okay.
How about local
Yes.
cultural icons
Local symbols, landmarks, or
Yeah.
cultural icons.
instead of Newmarket?
Alright, we've moved into the design related survey questions here. So number 8 on page 4 is, asking about words that describe the sort of personality or vibe that the signs should reflect. So this kind of aligns with, a little bit with like the pictures, but helping people just give us input on, what their aesthetic preferences are.
I feel this is a question with pictures. 'Cause what someone's gonna say, what's modern sleek? It's just very subjective, I think.
this might also be good for ranking. We get the average thing that people like.
I struggle with this question a lot because I think you'd have to nobody's gonna have the same definitions of these things.
Yeah.
And so I'm checking off modern and sleek, but I really mean the vibrant and colorful, right? That's how it, or whatever.
Right,
Or
we're gonna have to
minimalist and
define
clean.
something, I think.
Yeah.
Define them.
Are we handling this question in the dot survey?
We do have some questions that are getting at design in the dot survey, with some terminology included with the photos.
And
I do think so.
Would this page kind of
The last
begin
page.
to address that? Yeah, or this one?
Yeah, so,
And
I think if we try to define everything, it's gonna get really long.
Well, I'm wondering,
We could
does 8
Consider
go,
taking it out.
yeah, does 8 go away and then
Just not
11
include
kind
it.
of replaces 8?
Yeah, we actually had this discussion, I
Yeah.
said, we should just show a picture, which do you
Yeah.
prefer?
And not
And then
include it.
and then it's easier.
And
Yeah.
this is a question for the town residents,
I think for
more than the tourists and the visitors and the people who come to eat, right?
Yeah, that's a
Yeah.
really good point. So that is a really good reason to make sure we can filter the responses so that the branding is more reflecting residents and businesses. And
What if this question 8 were, which words best describe the personality or vibe
Yeah.
of Newmarket?
Yeah.
And it's just select all that apply and just all of these individually.
Interesting.
Then we would get a sense of how people view Newmarket, and then we can have the sign questions and what the signs should look like, and some of these words as a separate.
And you just do all the words, and then you
Yeah,
can get
you just-
you can get a map of.
Can we please do another and please explain?
And it
I love this.
I think that's really
that's a really good idea. Yeah.
Could be interesting.
Yeah, it would be.
Is that we're doing a choose one?
No, I think
No,
it would
just like
choose
a
all
check-
that you would apply.
Check all.
Not
In
like a
number
modern
8.
and sleek.
Okay.
Maybe sleek, maybe
Separate
you would
them.
say historic and colorful.
Right.
Yeah.
Or
Or
whatever
historic and
words
sleek.
you
We
choose.
can,
Yeah,
we can
sure.
really
Or you choose 7.
Yeah, or that.
sleekly
Sleek.
historical.
But we might get to
Okay.
see like a couple of these descriptors rise to the top
Absolutely.
and kind of describe the personality vibe of the town.
Yeah, yeah, so
I
I
think
think
that's
some
a
of the
good idea.
words will change a little bit.
Mhm.
Okay, I like that.
And maybe there are other terms that we.
I know, I feel like we have that.
Yeah,
Let them-
we'll do another.
You do another, please, yeah, what is it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Keep it spicy.
Exactly.
Spicy.
We have to keep ourselves entertained.
Historically spicy.
Okay. All right, 9, is asking about important features for our sign. Symbols, large text, integrating lighting, and tactile elements.
I think it should be which features are most important to you, or which features slash as
Features are. Yeah. I think this can be a check all that apply.
Is that a rank or check?
No, I just had the,
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering.
Wow.
Do we rank or?
I think the ranking would be nice.
I wouldn't rank here because tactile elements or braille that may be really important to you, but if you had to rank, where would you put that? Would you put that on, is that more important than large high contrast text? Are they both equally important? I guess if you could rank all of them 1 or something, but I wouldn't rank that. I wouldn't know how to rank it if I had to answer that question right now.
And you could do a scale on that as well. On a scale of 1 to 5, how important is this to you?
Yeah, that's yeah. So rank each individually rather
Yeah.
than against each other. Yeah. I think you can just check them.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, we're in question 10. People probably get an answer.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we're asking people to like give their own personal response, so, you know, if you're just thinking about what's important to you personally, like, I mean, for me, like, I actually do need large high contrast, but I wouldn't necessarily say that's important to me, on a sign for, like, myself. And so that's how we're asking people to respond, so I think it's okay to just check what's important to people and not, you know, we're not trying to.
Now, for people like me, you're going to have to put that at the very beginning of the survey and say, please respond only from your own perspective. Don't take other people into account, you know, because I think when I think about this, I think, okay, what makes most sense for a visitor to the town? Like, you know, I don't really care what the sign says at all, you know, because I already know where I'm going, you know, for the most part. But so I think of this as, you know, what makes sense, what would make the town attractive to people. So maybe that is just my perspective. Yeah. So.
Well, this question I did write, like, what's most important to you, because it's we're trying to get input on how many people want these aspects in the signs.
Yeah.
Like, and we'll have to decide how to use that input. Like, what is a significant number of responses that say this is important. But you're not necessarily wearing your committee hat when you're answering, like, that question. Or like the design questions, some of the questions about the appearance.
Okay. It sets up an expectation, I think, when you put tactile elements and Braille in there as an option.
Interestingly, that's kind of getting outdated because a lot of people wear sight impaired, have Google glasses that will tell them the sign says,
or then just
use
use
it
your phone. But it just, I don't know. So, and it doesn't apply to most signs, anyways.
Do you want to take that out so that people don't feel like they're
no, I don't take it out. It just sets up an expectation. If we don't, then don't, you know, you don't find it. Yeah, I can't read this sign.
You want to make it other, because it does. I think it does set up expectation when we have to do that.
Yeah.
And whoever was joked about the Braille on the McDonald's keypad when you had the drive-up window.
Right.
You know, it's like, kind of hope that, you know, they drove here, right?
Right.
I mean, it's fine.
Are there other things that you'd like to include in this list?
Well, could it just say other list?
Yeah, you could do that, other.
And it should say which features, right? Oh, we
did that.
Yeah.
Okay. So we're gonna strike the last one and put other, this list.
Yeah.
And then people won't feel like they're not being inclusive if they don't check that box. Okay. That's not the intent, it's really just to gather numbers on like who needs it.
Yeah.
The survey's also not in Braille, so we're not necessarily capturing that population unless someone is reading it to them. Although certain you might have the option to
screen reading.
Screen read it, and do it with the Survey Monkey version,
Yeah.
Okay, let's go to question 10. What information do you find, maybe we could say missing or most lacking on signs?
Creation of public restrooms.
Are there any? No?
I would say something like, think about current signs. You know, put yourself into this place and then ask the question, rather than what information do you find most lacking on current signs? Because you might, it's like the important part I think is about the current signage. So maybe we should put that at the beginning of the question. Do you know what I mean? Rather than having to get to that point at the very end. It's kind of like a German sentence with the verb at the end.
I knew you were going with that. So, what information on current signs do you find most?
Or we could say, what do you want to see what do you wish you was on current signs or something like that?
I think the way it's worded right now is a little awkward and negative. Not that that necessarily matters, but, you know, can we just say something as simple as, what information do you feel is important?
Well, what would you add to current signs? I think that's good.
Or,
You know,
yeah.
what would you add in the what would you add to currently or to signs that we have? Estimated walking times, clear directions to public parking,
Or maybe
Yeah.
what
directions to public parking.
what information would you like on
Yeah.
signage?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because if we say
This-
add to a current sign, it's not, you know, we're not taking masking tape and
Right.
adding it on the bottom of the sign or anything.
So what information would you like on signage?
On sign.
On signs.
On sign.
We'll take out bathrooms. Do you wanna add like like waterfront?
Yeah.
Maybe,
Accessible parking, charger.
Oh, charger, EV chargers
Yeah.
is a good one. Water access points.
I mean, you could list everything on the
Yes,
new
you could.
better signage section for the dot thing,
That could be a spot for
What
other.
did you just say, Chip? Something
but
said-
on the dot,
Oh, I
Oh, the
see.
job
yeah,
survey.
that already basically asked that question. You could list everything that's on that, or you could just remove that question and just have it on the dot survey.
But the
Or
dot,
both.
everybody who fills out this survey, these questions, is not necessarily going to have the opportunity to do the dot survey and vice versa. Is that true? You don't
Well,
have to
they technically have the opportunity if they go to the events.
But they
So
would-
it's not going to be like if you take the survey, you're not allowed to take the dot poll, but we don't expect that everyone will take both.
Yeah, would
So
expect
the
it
dot
to-
poll will be available on the survey.
Oh, the dot
It
will
will
be
be?
on the
Will not.
Oh,
Right.
No,
Right.
So
no,
why
the
don't we
dot poll
just do
would
what
be-
Jane said
to
and
remove
put all
that.
those
But the-
options?
So the items that are on the poll, for this question, it's the one with the, just without the pictures, are parking, Newmarket Mills, water access points, specific shops, restaurants, other businesses, the Riverwalk, Shannon Park, Town Hall, Fire Department, Police Department, schools, rec center, community art installations, EV charging stations, conservation land, parks, trails, and other. So it's a little bit different than number 10, but, if we're feeling like number 10 is overly complicated, we can think about another way to, kind of capture that information, because it's not necessarily like the destinations or how to get to them, it's more like, points of interest, like the historic information about landmarks.
Walk time, yeah, it's.
The walk time, so I think the walk time is probably one of the things that I'm more interested in, because that is something that, some signs have and some don't, some wayfinding signage. Like how many minutes is it gonna take you to walk from Bay Road to, wherever you're going? So that question I think is an interesting one to get input on, because it's, it's more information on the sign, which some people probably don't like. Some people probably don't feel is necessary, but it might inform whether or not someone's.
This is about a functionality that a sign has, and the other ones are, locations that you might want to go to. So I like that, and we might want to, are there other functions that a sign could fulfill, that could bring to the community that we could add there in that list? Otherwise, I think it's really good, except for, changing the wording of the question itself to be more positive. And it's, because it sounds a little bit more like that, this is kind of a question that a visitor would be, likely to be more interested in, having, oh, what is the distance, or how do I don't know where the public restrooms are, or where are these things? Whereas,
What information would be most helpful?
no, I think it's, yeah, I mean, you
Someone-
guys can wordsmith the question.
Yeah, someone suggested what information would you like on signs? Which I think
Yeah,
is
Simple,
really pretty
easy to
user friendly.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that's positive too.
I think, we struck the locations of public restrooms, but maybe
Yeah.
we should replace that with like civic buildings or, cause like town hall or the community center or like things like that should often be clearly marked or have directions, so maybe that's something we want to put there.
And do we want to put some churches or
You know what, I would.
houses of worship?
I think leaving public restrooms is great, because if we get a response of, 500 people and, 95 of them say, we need, signage to public restrooms, that is a clue for us to say, oh, well, maybe we need to put a public restroom in this town, So, and maybe, I think it's good, I like it. It's one of those things that, you end up looking for in a community that you visit a lot. Well, I know I have, where's the next restaurant? I don't know. I gotta find a bathroom in a restaurant or something, and it always feels a little awkward because you're just walking in there, use the restroom, so I think I would leave it. I think it's good, personally.
I think.
A little bit of energy for public restrooms.
Alright, so we have maybe mixed feelings on including the location of public restrooms, or, I mean, I would call like the library and the restroom in the town offices, the public
Sure.
restrooms.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're not necessarily always open, when people are here, but,
And we could, so if there is a response that says there's a need for that kind of signage, then we have information that we can work with, and, we may not be able to create a public restroom, but we can certainly identify restrooms that could be, or are publicly available or accessible. So, I think it's a good question, personally. It's a friendly thing to have in a town. We want you here, and we want you to leave all of your business.
I have a question about the response unsure. I'm not sure what does that inform us of if somebody checks unsure?
we could say none of the above.
Or other, do we have an
Other?
opportunity to say
We
We
other?
can add,
and what people
we
feel
can add
something?
another, and, but some people won't have might not have an opinion.
You
So
just
I-
make the question optional.
Well,
they're
the
probably all
questions-
gonna be optional,
Oh,
except
yeah,
for like
yeah.
the first one that asks for, if they're, if they live here or visit here, they'll probably all be optional.
I think others fine.
Yeah,
Just leave it blank then.
and other would have a place for them to fill in something,
Yeah,
that'd be great.
okay, so do we want the EV charging on there still? I think that could
so.
fit on this list.
Yeah.
Okay,
And do we have that on the dot while we're talking about this?
Yes.
Yeah.
we do have it on the
Okay.
dot one, yeah. Okay, alright. Just a couple more of these, next ones take up a lot of space, so we're almost done. So 11 is just getting some general input on what styles people like. And we are asking them to rank their choices. So we get like overall picture.
There's some great options here. It's
Mhm.
really thorough.
It'll be hard to rank them. Oh, well, I think maybe not. Some people will see some and be like, no.
Yes.
This is also where I think your professional opinion will come into play, because contrast is absolutely critical to legibility in different lighting scenarios. And very often businesses will have these signs that look beautiful in mock-up, and you put them out in the street, you can't see them. It looks like a piece of wood, you just don't see the writing, or there's so much art on it, you can't read what it is.
Mhm.
So sometimes those who haven't designed signs have been around signs a lot of these ideas, and it's like, that's not gonna be legible to anybody, you know?
Or Allison will be shining.
Yeah.
We are,
Rotary.
we are gonna do, once the design is approved, we'll do a full-size mock-up of just the graphic part of the sign and take it to the location and double-check it to make sure that legibility is acceptable.
Hmm.
Yeah, and have you done signs before or worked for a sign company? Excellent,
Mhm.
yeah, because the sign companies are so helpful.
Well, yeah, we're gonna work with them very early on in the
Yeah.
process.
They're very helpful.
Yeah.
All right, on the last page, there was some discussion, I think even in the downtown master plan chapter in the charrette about like a kiosk kind of sign. And so, this is just a question sort of asking if people think that's necessary.
What if we said instead of does Newmarket, we said does downtown Newmarket?
Downtown,
Yeah.
that makes it more specific.
Yeah.
Should we ask them a question about if so, where or what of? For the map room, is that specific?
I think that might be using Bart's expertise, you know, rather than people who aren't that familiar with urban planning and, you know, they may point to a piece of private property or something that has obscures a road sign or.
Oh, you mean the placement of the?
Yeah, placement, yeah, I think that,
I thought your question was as to what the map should be
What
showing.
is the
I'm sorry, I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
because some towns will have a map of just the downtown, like the
Yeah.
riverfront, some will have the whole town, just downtown.
Yeah,
Do you want separate, so this is a Dover example and it is sort of site specific, it's not like the whole downtown. They have a pretty big downtown, they do have a couple larger, kind of walk-up signs.
Yeah.
Near, like, the Children's Museum, in the Park area with larger maps. And this is the Riverwalk area. So we could ask about general downtown, and I don't know about asking about the Riverwalk, the riverfront area,
No.
for this sign survey, because I feel like that is,
Yeah, I don't think right now.
Can we cover that in the wording of the question? Can we say something to the effect of, maybe lay out a couple of things that would be on the sign, but, a map. Let's see how I'm gonna say
I
this.
think it's,
A map indicating the location of, important town locations or, that's not good wording, but, am I getting the point across?
what about calling it like a visitor map or something, like a visitor map of the down?
I think the question is good. If we just say, does downtown Newmarket need a sign with a map? And then you have these this
Points of
example.
interest.
I think the
Points of
Points of
example
interest.
points
Yeah.
of interest.
with points of interest?
Yeah,
Points of interest.
signs of the map, with points of interest.
Well, you mentioned
okay.
the parking was a big issue, and that would be helpful
Yeah.
for people to see that this extra parking is just a short walk, correct?
Yes.
right.
So,
I mean, would these pictures be, or are these pictures scalable if you're at least online, so you can take a closer look at? Because I mean,
We can get
I think a
different- we can
picture
get a different-
is so much more
Yeah, I could
communicative.
get a larger, like a more of a town scale image to give people an idea of what,
I think an example that has, like parking, like has these kinds of elements in it, so that people, oh yeah, that's what this
Yeah.
question
Yeah.
is talking
Okay.
about.
Portsmouth has a really good one when you come over the Memorial Bridge.
Yeah.
Right there,
Yeah.
people are landing their visitors, and it tells you exactly where you are and how far parking and all that stuff is. So it's a very selected downtown.
Yeah. And if we have a couple of pictures that kind of spur people's thinking, oh yeah, I think that's better than trying to word it out.
Put it out.
Yeah.
So maybe we have this example and then one other, of maybe that specific sign enforcement.
Yeah.
I mean, this does, I really like how you have the blow up.
Yeah.
That shows points of interest, parking, walking routes.
It's pretty small on the paper version though. We could make it bigger, but we can also find another example too.
And people can also zoom in on the screens.
Yeah.
Right, that's what I.
Yeah.
You know, thinking about that, and that we're on question 12, do we want to say right up front, there's a 12-question survey? I mean, I think sometimes people don't want to do survey because they don't want to waste 15 minutes doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you know right up front, it's quick.
Yeah, I usually try to say how many minutes
Yep.
roughly.
That's good.
So I'll like finish it and then I'll take it and like really read through everything and time how long it is and just put like a range,
Yeah. Yeah.
5 to 7 minutes or something. A lot of the questions are pretty quick.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think so too.
I've bailed on a lot of surveys. It just keeps on dragging on, dragging. It's like
To that point, will SurveyMonkey, if somebody does get to question 8 and say, I'm out, will it record what they've done?
Yeah. Yep, I think it should. I think there's options to save it along the way, but I've got a lot of survey responses that just go to a certain point and then stop. So, we got it done. All right, so, and then 13 is just asking for any additional information.
People
Stuff
aren't
around
gonna
long enough.
be allowed to put pictures in, right? No? I agree.
We don't have a way to do it with the paper versions.
I prefer if people couldn't.
Okay. We don't need to. Okay, so that's the draft. What we can do is clean this up, make the edits. Do you all want to see the next version back?
Yeah.
Do-
I think so, yeah, so we just one pass.
I have only one suggestion here, on the, what is it?
Oh yeah, we can jump into
The
that.
destinations page.
Yeah.
If the other could have, if you could record multiple responses there as a respondent, rather than just one.
Oh, so this is the poster one, and
Oh,
so
okay.
everyone
Never
will just
mind
be,
then,
yeah,
yes.
as long as no one writes really large,
Gotcha.
we'll be able to have
You just sticky
multiple.
notes.
I
You
didn't,
do sticky
I didn't
notes,
read
yeah.
the instructions, obviously, so.
It might be easy
We'll
to
do
stick
sticky
notes, just add some boxes.
Sign
to
need to be
the
bigger.
extras.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Off the index card that says sticky notes, because they'll fly away.
Okay, okay.
Field testing.
So, yeah, we can jump into the poster polls and then go back to the final review process. We went over this one sort of already, the destinations. Any missing destinations or anything else you'd like to add to the list here? I said we'll give people 5 dots and we'll let them place those dots.
Am I missing it, or is there nothing on historical things?
You are not missing it. Want to add that in?
Very nice.
Historical points.
Wonder, can we like categorize this, like civic, we have all the civic, like a bar up top, and then, next one will be recreation, Shanda Park, Riverwalk, Newmarket, rec is civic too, but, I don't know.
Yeah.
Something that's more eye catching maybe.
We can do that.
To help you, yeah.
Keep them separate, but,
Yeah, so I think at the
Yeah.
top line, it'll be like a bar, it says civic,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
it, and then I go from there.
We can definitely do that.
Helps people get in the mindset of this. Interacting with it.
Yeah, I've done that before for like a master plan for the chapters so that they're, you're just getting people to focus on one topic at a time, so that we can definitely have that in.
You know, it's an interesting one too, is, historic, but the museum is not listed. I look at a lot of towns,
Yeah.
museums are One of the things I'm looking for.
Little Chase just said like historic.
Historic museum, yeah.
Yeah, but it's a museum, it's more than just historic, it is a museum.
What if it's historic and an example museum?
Landmarks.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, just.
I know the museum would love it because they struggle with identity, location
Yeah.
problems themselves, and
That's what I would.
they would enjoy some attention.
I would enjoy it.
And then last but not least here, we have a kind of design preference page. I'm asking people to sort of vote one per, there's a couple different groups to just get people to look at the images and,
I just have one thing, on
Yeah.
the what color and font, only one of them includes a font. One just says serif font, the other ones don't include fonts. Or maybe make those separate questions, because font's gonna have a very different appeal than color.
okay.
Fonts? I'm not following the.
On the bottom left on the back page,
Okay.
it says
Oh,
what
yeah,
color
yeah.
and font, and then only one is
Yeah.
the font.
We could almost just limit to say vintage, and,
Yeah.
because there are others, there's a serif font on a couple of these.
Yeah.
Yeah, we could just take that off.
Yeah, I'm fine with
Just
no
take off the
fonts.
font.
Just,
Yeah.
just,
It probably should be serif anyways.
That's gonna be a big debate.
Well, it better not be fonts.
Okay.
Now, these are, yeah, these are.
Sorry, it doesn't show up at all on this one, I printed. I printed running
And
out of
just,
a certain
uh,
color ink.
Yeah,
The title above them, maybe
Yeah.
change the white.
right.
Yeah.
hmm,
Okay.
speed of contrast.
It's, you know, I don't know how you guys are gonna do this, because I like these signs. I like all of these signs, they're all great, you know, not all of them, but, you know, I like them for different reasons, you know? It's
There's
gonna
just
be,
one person.
I'm glad I don't have to make the choices, because I would never get anywhere.
Well, you do have to,
Doesn't-
Yeah.
do have to make
That
some
time will
choices.
come.
Better you than me.
Prepare
Yeah.
yourself.
Okay, so just to loop back, so we can make edits to the surveys, and then we'll send it back to Bart. Do you want us to come back and review the final version at your next meeting?
No.
Or do you want to provide comments over
I think,
through Bart?
yeah, so what we
Okay.
do is just send it to me, I'll send it to the group. We can get individual responses, there needs to be last name changes, and then let's go from there.
I'm sure that it won't be extensive at all.
But it's just one final pass.
Yeah.
That's great.
All right, so the only other items we wanted to cover were should I pull the poster up
Go
for
ahead.
people at home or not?
Sure.
Just real quick.
Good.
So this was the destinations, make a couple edits to that. And then the next one is the design preferences.
Now, just if we're gonna use this, it says place one dot per question. Why is that? Why did you decide to do it that way?
Well, so there's a few questions, and I thought it would be hard to have, we can't rank like we did in the other question, and I just thought it would be easier to sort of have people focus on a certain aspect of the signs in different questions.
So basically, you're saying we want you to choose one.
Choose one in here,
Yeah,
choose
okay.
one in here, just to sort of get overall feelings without people, because, you know, a lot of people will be like, well, I really like that, but I don't like the color at all. So we're just trying to tease out some of the details a little bit in a way that is sort of easy to,
Okay.
for people to respond to.
I think Chase is right. It might be a fifth question for the font.
You can do that.
Yeah, so just you can
Just
do
to
bright,
do the difference.
high contrast, and then font be its own.
Okay. Alright,
Just so you
How do you feel
collect.
about that? It's, 6 of one, half dozen of another, basically.
It's just I think be more clear about the color and then the font. Because if you only get one dot for this question, what are you going to choose for two things you're trying to answer?
or we just ask about color,
Well, I guess,
not about font
Yeah.
at all.
And there's only about 200 fonts that we can pick from. So we just picked one.
Oh,
And
What happens if you like a color
Yeah.
but don't like the font?
And shouldn't the font be driven, or the font choice be driven by the answers to the other questions? You know, like,
Yeah,
right?
potentially.
I think it's a design question.
So take
That-
out
that I would
font,
leave to the designer.
we could just ask about color.
I actually kind
Yeah.
of agree with that, because especially in walking presence, aesthetics really matter.
Yeah.
If I'm driving down a highway, aesthetics don't matter, I need direction. But walking, I just want it to look good. That's really important for the downtown to look good.
Yeah.
And you can even mix it up a little bit to where when it's more directional, you do the blocky or sans serif
Yeah.
as a driving sort of thing. And if it's more descriptive, walking novel,
It was.
you could have the serif font. So it's not like it's either or, you
Okay.
can mix and match.
So maybe we just take that out, the font part.
Yeah,
and
just do color.
Yeah.
Okay.
If you're not familiar with signing, a font that you find appealing may be completely inappropriate for signage.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, it's a good question, Lindsay. Are we tied to certain fonts on 108 and 152?
And not traffic.
Traffic signs.
Okay. Okay. Great, sure.
Okay, so we'll change that one. And then, just gonna look back to the slides here. For our next steps, we'll get the survey going, we'll get the posters, edited and up for bringing to, the events. And then we have talked about a joint meeting. I don't know if we're gonna schedule that now or,
Yeah, that'll be a separate email to everyone. So I was thinking planning board, arts and culture, conservation, this body, town council.
Riverfront?
Yeah, riverfront, all downstairs.
I'd maybe throw
The
in
historical society,
the
like
historical
that.
society, yeah. They've had so much interest.
and then the public obviously is welcome to that as well. So I figured we just try to get everyone in one room and do this sticky dot exercise there. So actually, I wonder too. Maybe there's an opportunity to put like in the town clerk's office, and like if we do like
the poster or
the
the
posters,
survey?
yeah. I wonder if that's an opportunity. It's something maybe we can think about, but in addition to this,
But the town council is planning a meeting with the chairs with committee chairs.
okay,
So maybe we can,
maybe a workshop before then, get
use
everyone,
that date.
yeah. Okay. Do
It
you
would
want-
be cool to do that poster in the town clerk's office and then take a picture at the end of the day and have a fresh one for the next day.
do that? It's a lot of printing.
Okay, it could be on some kind of, or it could be removable, just take a picture of it. Then you
Yes, we
remove the dots.
Velcro.
Yeah.
We're supposed to do the Velcro dots. But yeah, we could do that.
Yeah, we can also do like live polling if it's a meeting and folks are comfortable with using their cell phones to vote, as a way, instead of trying to get everyone in the room for a committee meeting to use sticky dots, so that's another,
Yep.
that's another option.
I just feel like could be a great opportunity to utilize the town clerk's office. So it's something maybe we can work together, try to see if it even makes sense.
Yeah, so a lot of traffic.
Exactly.
Yeah,
So,
and anybody new to town
Yep.
who may have a different perspective
Right.
on how they wear things.
Same at the library too.
Libraries are good.
Should we add the library on the destinations page?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Good call.
Okay. Yes, library will be added.
Can I ask which Newport this is? You know? It's okay.
I can get you that answer. I don't remember off the top of my head.
Yeah.
I didn't take the photo, I stole it from the internet.
If it says historic, then I imagine.
I think it's
Rhode
Rhode
Island.
Island.
Yeah, probably.
Oh yeah, for
Confirmed.
yeah.
Chase confirmed.
Thank you.
Okay, and then we eventually will be, I'll be bringing some points of interest, and some survey input back to all of you to sort of workshop what the key destinations and points of interest are. We don't have to schedule those now, but we had identified probably 2 or 3 work sessions. They probably won't be as long as we've been doing this for tonight, but maybe like an hour at your meetings this fall, potentially-ish. So we could maybe just keep that in the back of the agenda planning lines, and then pinpoint specific dates once we get closer to that piece.
Did you say 2 to 3?
That's what we had included in our scope of work based on the RFP, but that can be flexible. We don't need to meet more than necessary, and if we need more time, we can certainly do that too. Thanks everyone, that was a lot.
Yeah.
Thanks for your focus. I know that you're going to take the whole survey,
Yeah.
so
No, thank you so
we
much.
really appreciate it. Thank you
Yeah,
for all the
and
time tonight.
I really like the little website, that little landing space there. That's
Sorry.
Yes, and so the QR wasn't it in here? The short one?
You go on the.
yes, I probably like it.
Oh, it is here. So it's a bit.ly/Newmarket Wayfinding.
Oh, yeah, that's
And I can
easy.
send that out
Yep.
to everyone too.
Nice.
All right, thank you everyone.
Thank you for coming in.
Thanks, Allison.
Have a good night.
Thanks.
We have some members of the public. I'd like to make a motion that we amend the agenda to see if there are any public comments.
Yeah, we should probably add that.
No, we're just here to observe.
Okay,
Okay.
thanks.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. I don't know if anybody else is kind of out of stamina for the last regular business item, which is progress on 2026 goals. I would suggest we table that till next time, or any discussion on that till next time. Do we have general agreement? Yes. Okay.
Can we talk about the rate just briefly? Because we did have
About what?
parking infrastructure management.
Yes.
Just briefly.
I'm in favor.
Yeah.
Yes,
We are, so Zoom, Mike, Lindsay, myself, we met today, on Spring Street, to see if there's any opportunities to add more spaces. So what we're gonna do is, work with, town staff to see if this makes sense, come up with a plan, and then, come back probably by the next meeting or a meeting after, with a plan to see to add more spots, potentially. So, so we're, I guess, looking for, since the bank lots have closed, we're looking to, add more opportunities. I think, this is kind of the time again. This is what we've been doing, but, again, there's renewed effort, if you will, to find more spots. And there'll be a temporary basis, and to see if it works out. And if it doesn't, then great, we restrict and go back to normal, or we start planning for permanent spots, which takes time and lighting. So, so I just wanted to give an update to you all on that.
Thank you.
Good. All right, well then, unless there's anything under other business, new business that anybody wants to bring up, Lindsay, do you have something that you need to get input on? No? You want to go home too? Okay, good. Then
Ice cream hour.
I'll take a motion to adjourn.
Second that.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And good night.
Good night.
And, I won't be able to be at the next meeting, but you won't miss me.
Yes, we
Where are
will.
you going?
Lindsay won't miss me.